that was enough. Okay, so yeah, the final thing I'd just like to go through. We've got 10 minutes. So I wanted to just introduce you some of the team. So this is the ARM team. So there's other people from other companies here, which I'm not going to introduce. But I just wanted to give you a feel for the people who are here and try and put a name to a face. So that throughout the day you can go and grab them and beat the drum about your thing you care about. To start with, so we've got Chris Stiles here, who actually started the project with me, and it was quite weird putting this presentation together actually, because it's quite a privilege to see this sort of team we've built. So Chris is in charge of all of our application engineering and our partner engagements at the application engineering level, and also hardware aspects as well, and can solder ridiculously small chips without going cross-eyed. Some of the people in Chris's team that are here today is Sam Grove. She should wave. Yeah, so there's Sam over here. So Sam's based in Austin and is one of the mbed application engineering team based in the US. So we're trying to get some 24-hour coverage and things like that, and be doing quite a lot of interesting stuff with some of our silicon partners, and actually some. You can talk about some of this later, I guess. And we've got Water Ice San. Where are you? Oh, you're at the back there. So Water Ice San's fairly new to the mbed team, and based in Japan. So Japan is actually a real big market for mbed at this point in time, and it's a very inspiring culture actually in the way that they're operating. I think in some sense quite ahead of some other areas of the world in some of the ways that they're navigating these technologies. So really interesting to have that. So we've got these guys here, so please go and talk to them about any stuff. We've also got Dan Ross here is up at the front. So Dan leads our web team. So all of our web infrastructure, all of our web tools, all of the infrastructure. We've also got Michal with us here. So Michal is our genius on the front-end IDE JavaScript thing. So we've got this online IDE. If you haven't seen it, it's probably one of the most advanced in the world, I'd say actually. When we started working on it probably before Gmail was public, and so it's been working on this sort of technology for a long time. Steve's not here, unfortunately. He was taken ill, so he hasn't been able to make the trip. But Steve also works on the website, and most recently has been looking a lot about how companies can engage with mbed and teams on mbed, so people can collaborate and things like that. He's been doing. I think we released a new feature. Dan can probably talk about this later. But so unfortunately, Steve's not here, but I didn't take his face off the slide. We've got Emilio here. Emilio here leads the software team for mbed, and you can wave back. Yeah, it's fine. Emilio's been also driving a lot of our understanding around open source and how you can reach scale and to consolidate a lot of the efforts in the industry. So Emilio's been leading that. We've also got Bogdan over here. This is also part of that team. I think you're going to introduce later, but it's got a lot of experience in SDKs and language runtimes and talking about controllers and things like that. You'll probably get a glimpse of some of that stuff as well. And we've got Kevin at the end here, who's working with us on some of the Bluetooth Smart work we're doing. So that's looking really exciting as well. And obviously now we can say we're working with Nordic. That's pretty cool as well. So this is something that now this is public. We're going to start trying to make available in quite an early form, quite quickly. This is really about making things like the Bluetooth Smart technology very accessible. Who else have we got in here? So Dom is here somewhere. So Dominic's right at the back. Dominic is from our segment marketing team focusing on Internet of Things. Has been, came to start working with the mbed team probably, well, we know, obviously we've been working with Dom a long time. He launched things like the Cortex-M0 and things like that. So huge amount of experience in the microcontroller space, but has sort of come to us and go, wow, you're working with all these companies, you're not telling them. What are you? There's a lot we're going to be doing with Dom. We've got Karthik in here somewhere. Karthik's at the back there. So Karthik also works in our works with a lot of operators, so partner manager with operators. So it's been doing a lot of really interesting work with different mobile operators, understanding how we can help unlock markets for them. We've got Dia in here as well somewhere. Dia is here. So Dia is a product manager for Cortex Cortex M3 at the moment, and also IoT in general from the processor division. So again, another great guy to talk to if you get a chance. I didn't tell everyone I was going to put their face up there. And then these are from our internal org chart, so they're not necessarily the most flattering pictures. So we've got Hugo here from our R&D team at the back there, who has been working in part of our IoT R&D group, doing lots of really interesting things that are, at the moment I won't try and talk about. Oh, well, I guess you're interested in very low power, so how do you make low power by default? There's really, really interesting work we're doing to try and just make systems, microcontroller systems, always be in their lowest power state possible without the programmer having to worry too much about that, and various other things as well. We've got Andy in here, I think. Yeah, Andy in here has been looking at web services and things like that, and understanding the needs of those sorts of things. He can probably explain a bit more. And we've got Robert in here as well. Robert's been looking at R&D in terms of things like firmware update and firmware over the air and things like that. So if that's interesting to any people, he's a good person to go and talk to. Philippe is here somewhere. Philip right at the back. So Philippe's marketing communications. So mbed for the first time as a Marcoms person now. As I said, we're scaling up with different shapes and things like that. I don't know if so. Philippe's a good person to understand about how ARM does marketing communications and how maybe you can piggyback some of that, which might be interesting. Is Tiffany here as well? Oh yeah, Tiffany is here as well. So Tiffany's really into sort of developer communities. He's also part of the Marcoms group, but has got some really interesting insights into how important developer communities are going to be and how working with them is important. And we've got Gary as well, so somewhere hopefully. Yeah, Gary's at the back, and Gary's looking at sort of emerging markets, emerging segments. So I've probably not got that quite right, but another good person to talk to. And then finally, we've got Zach here. So Zach was one of the two founders of SenseNode, an ARM acquisition. So a lot of expertise in wireless sensor networks, standards bodies. Great guy to get some. Wrote a book on this thing, so he wrote a book on it. So good guy to talk to if you get a chance. We've got John, who is mine and Zach's boss, who you heard from this morning, and that's me at the end. So I hope that was a useful introduction to the day. I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope we've hit the mark, but we're looking for feedback when you haven't. We've now got a half-hour break, so please use that time to talk to people and go get some coffee and stuff like that. Thank you very much.